Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined as always by Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we've got 4 games for you guys on a Thursday night in an NBA that has been turned upside down around this trade deadline. We are taking a look at the Lakers and Bucks in this one. So the impact there is that Russell Westbrook is no longer a Laker. They're still waiting for some of their reserves to come through in that big 3-team trade where they'll be getting D'Lo and Malik Beasley and Vanderbilt. But we'll be waiting on them. So tonight it's just LeBron and the usual squad minus Russ in this one. Also have another game video up for you and our player props. So make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along. Also head to thelines.com. That's where we have all of our great written content for you guys all season long, and our odds finder tool that you can use up there. Make sure you're getting the best juice back from all these U.S. sportsbooks who are giving you guys NBA bets this season. Nate, let's go ahead and jump into this 4-game slate and then talk Bucks and Lakers.
And should mention we'll have a trade deadline video when all the dust settles here this afternoon. So we'll talk about futures and MVP and the impact of some of these big names moving. Other game video here is Nuggets minus 6.5 at Orlando. Totals 232, leaning under on that one. Bulls are +1 at the Nets, who of course are moving on with Cam Thomas as the centerpiece. We'll see if the Bulls move anybody before 3 p.m. today. Suns are +7 at the Hawks. They have to go on without Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, of course, as they wait for Kevin Durant to show up. And then the Lakers, +6.5 now at home. It's crept up a little bit. Total has also been bet up 2 points to 240. Russ Westbrook traded overnight, as you mentioned. And I think that at least shakes things up from an emotional standpoint. We were looking at just a depleted Lakers team that LeBron finally gets the record. It's a big night, and they still can't beat the Thunder. And that's just like really emotionally exhausting. And they host a red-hot Bucks team that's got an extra day's rest on them. It would have been a spot where maybe they just fold. They definitely can't afford to fold at this point in the season. But I think getting rid of Russ, I mean, as much as he was actually helping them from a basketball standpoint, I just don't think anybody liked each other in that locker room. I just think it was a toxic environment. And we saw, at least with the Mavs, like the idea that this trade has gone through, that you've got reserves coming, that your roster is going to be much better in a few days, is enough to spark them to beat Utah without Luka or Kyrie, and then continue to play really well, even though Kyrie didn't necessarily carry them in their second game. It's the Lakers are going to be much, much better once they get those 3 guys in here. They needed depth so badly. I see people, downgrading this trade because of the pick 5 years down the line, but just like, who cares right now? Like, right now, the Lakers are much better positioned to make a run now. And I think that's going to galvanize both LeBron and AD. And I just think the Bucks are going to have to lose eventually. I mean, they're playing incredible ball here in their last 8. Maybe unsustainable 3-point shooting, which we talked about going into that Portland game on Monday, but really like the matchup more against Portland. A pretty weak interior defense, but also like the under. And I think it's another situation where the Bucks probably won't continue to score at this insane rate. The pace has been slightly slowing down. I think the Lakers can slow it down more, because the last 15 games we've been on this, that the Lakers are no longer playing at that breakneck pace, especially once they got AD in there. They're playing much more of a half-court game. 9-6 to the under in that 15, but 5-2 to the under their last 7 when they're home dogs. Also covered in 4 of those 6 as home dogs here. So, I mean, you might disagree with me, but I did have the Lakers beating the Bucks earlier this season with AD going off for 44. I just think it's another spot where it's just, they're an elite team like the Nuggets, but when they face the Lakers, when they face Anthony Davis and LeBron, it's just a bit of a different story in terms of being at least a physical, tough game for them. So I'm leaning under at 240 and probably leaning the Lakers to cover. If not, maybe the +200 on the money line.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it kind of differently. I really am. I'm looking at it because I guess I'm just still have that memory of the third quarter and the fourth quarter of that Thunder game just sort of etched in my mind, where I'm watching LeBron unable to run back on defense because he's so tired from scoring 36 points in three quarters, because that was what that night was about. I thought
Well, he got that out of the
he
way
did.
now. Now he can just play
He can just play
basketball.
basketball, but is he not exhausted? Like, I feel tired watching this Lakers team. I feel tired watching him do what he did physically on the court, then watching him tell Anthony Davis that he loved him on the bench in a moment that seemed really odd, because AD seems like it was almost like an exit interview. Like LeBron was talking to him like, I just want you to know I love you, on your way out the door, like it's been real. And AD didn't even stand up when he made his last shot. So it just seems like there's a little bit more trouble in paradise than just the Russell Westbrook thing. That's kind of what I'm, banking on a bit. I think, I don't know if AD doesn't love him anymore, but I do know that, AD didn't really show up in that game at all. Maybe that's because it was about the King. And to the point of maybe what we talk about a little bit more in player props, rather than even considering like a LeBron under necessarily, although his props are high for someone that I don't know if he's going to be playing the whole game tonight, partly because I do think the Bucks are capable for a blowout here. But maybe AD does do a little bit more, and like he did last game against this Bucks team, knowing how crucial it is that they have an inside presence and somebody that can really, be at least sort of the anchor of a defense while Giannis is running full steam at it, and then also box out a guy like Brolo when he has to. So I think he's ready for that challenge. I hope he is. I say that, but I don't know for sure. I do see this as an opportunity for the Bucks kind of licking their chops a bit, is kind of how I see it. And I think the 6 points is reasonable in this one. I think it could get out of hand, which is also why I kind of think that the Lakers might not be able to get to their props in terms of LeBron and some of his stuff. But I think Middleton playing is a big deal. And that's kind of what I was writing down earlier before we were talking here, that, he's played 15 games and he's been around for these last 8 that they've won in a row. And in the 15 games he's played versus the 39 that he hasn't, they've scored 120 with him and 112 without him. They get a few more boards a game. Their splits are way better, including 48% from the field versus 45, and then 40% from deep. They get a couple more free throws a game. He hasn't even been doing much in the last 7 that he's played. It's just 15, 5 boards, 4 points, normal like role player stuff, but it's the threat of him being there. It's another big body playing defense on the wing, which outside of him, on the wing after that, they get a little bit smaller. Even obviously Drew's fine, but then after that, they do get a little bit smaller there. Helpful to have him back there. So their defense in the last 8, not awesome. I don't like the fact that they've given up a ton of points to some decently bad offensives. I think it was a little bit too close in certain games as well. But in this one, like, I do think it's a situation where they have an opportunity to really put the clamps on the Lakers and kind of run on them. And the Lakers have scored and won by running fast and playing at a fast pace. I mean, maybe, you mentioned that AD coming back does help the slower pace. But that's also why I don't think they can win. Even when AD's in there, when the second unit comes on and now you've got Russell Westbrook on it, that's where your pace increases, and that's the only way that they were really getting points at times. And say what you want about Russ, he was a sort of, break glass for emergency bucket kind of guy when it just came to use your athleticism to out athleticize everybody and get to the rim, right? So I think that without that, they are going to miss that tonight. It does help the under, especially because Russ doesn't exactly give it all on defense. But I do think that for the Bucks tonight, like, they're in a prime position to be able to cover 6 points.
It really helps the under. Yeah, you're definitely making my point for me there with the no Russ on the second unit. Thank you. Also, you said the Bucks are playing, not overwhelming you with defense. Their defense has been absolutely incredible in the last 5. How are you both first and second in opponents' 2-point shooting and second in opponents' 3-point shooting, third in assists allowed, sixth in fast break points? They're just denying everything. The reason that these games are looking crazy is because it's a 109 pace overall in their last 3 road games, but it did slow down against Portland. I think the Lakers, because of that exhaustion you're talking about, definitely need to understand that they can't speed it up with this team. And the last 2 meetings with the Bucks have gone under after 6 straight overs when they were kind of playing more of a freewheeling style. They have kind of taken that approach that this needs to slow down. So, actually, it's the reverse, isn't it? It's 2 overs after 6 straight unders. Yeah, because that is the trend that we've seen recently. But look, I'm thinking it's more about the Lakers. 5 of their last 8 unders at home. I mentioned the home underdog numbers, and just the pace slowing down a little bit more, and the second unit slowing down more without Russ to lean under. But yeah, it should be just interesting to watch. I mean, we don't have to bet these ones on the trade deadline if you are worried about how they're going to come out, but do check out our trade deadline show to talk about how we're going to attack this the rest
Definitely,
of the
yeah, that's going to be a fun one. And I would just throw one more out there to you said I made your point. You're also making my point in the sense that if this game goes a little bit slower, like I said, I don't think that's good for the Lakers. I don't think they can play at that pace. The Bucks are, they want to play at that 109 pace as well, but I think that they'll do it better than the Lakers. And that even if the Lakers try to slow this one down, it's not in their favor. As in their wins, they play at they get one more possession per 100 than in their losses, playing a little bit slower when they lose. So that is all the time we have for you in this one. Going to be a fun game either way to watch, unless the Bucks do blow them out, like I think is going to happen. So make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along, and until we see you next, happy betting.